Hello, friends. Welcome to another episode of Consciously Constance. It's about 6 a.m. Happy Friday. I just came in from the gym. Every Friday, I like to wake up first thing in the morning and go swimming. This morning, I broke a new record. Instead of my usual 10 laps, I swam 20. I know, right? I don't know. Something just told me, keep going. So I did. I pulled and I pulled and I pulled until it was way too hard to keep pulling. Then I knew I was done. So, breaking records first thing in the morning. This is going to be an amazing day for me and for you. I had to come in and record as soon as I came in the house because something has just been heavy on my mind this morning. And it's the D word. Discipline. It's discipline. That, my friends, is the key. The key. That's the thing. That's the it. That's what it is. That's what this thing has always been about. It's not really a question of who's the most talented or the most likable or who has the most finesse, right? What it really comes down to in terms of success is who's got the discipline. Who's got that work ethic, that crazy work ethic? Who's got it? Who can harness that? Who can take the energy and direct it specifically and to getting the thing done? And I realized that, at 29, when I made the decision about following my creative path, but becoming a professional at it, I had to really look at my life and say, okay, what habits can I kick? I'm sorry, y'all. I have itchy nose, allergy season. I looked at my first video and I was like, man, I hope people don't think I'm out here. It's allergies. But anyway, I want to do what I love to do for a living, right? So then the conundrum is, how do I make it my living? What's the formula? What's the code? Where's the training course in that? I got a whole degree in the art. How do I turn that into money? And it brought me back to a book that I was actually introduced to by Bill Duke at the American Black Film Festival back in 2016. I did not read the book for his Actors Boot Camp, but I did purchase it 2 years later, and I have now read it for the American Black Film Festival 2018. So I have the knowledge as interpreted by Steven Pressfield in my head when I go. The book is called Turning Pro. It's by Steven Pressfield. And it says, tap your inner power and create your life's work. Be a pro about it. Be a professional. Discipline is required. I'm beginning to ask myself more and more each day, am I seeking productivity or pleasure right now? Like, what am I after? Because we make choices every day, y'all. A lot of times we're just, on autopilot. We have a habit of responding to certain situations and certain people in certain ways, and we habitually make the same choices. But that never meant you lost control of your choice out here. You just decide something different. Decide what's more important. And, that's what self-discipline is all about. I mean, growing up, there was always a disciplinary figure that was over us and making sure that we were in compliance. And now that there is not, it's not about being a disciplinary figure. It's about understanding that, hey, I want to get somewhere. And in order to get there, one path might get me there a little bit better than the other. You know what I mean? I was talking to my sister yesterday about waking up at 4 in the morning. I started waking up at 4 in the morning simply because it's really legit the only time that I have in my full schedule when it's quiet, when my girls are asleep, right? When I can get out of the house and spend an hour in the gym. I need that time. It's mine. And if I have to go to bed early to get it and wake up before the sun to get it, I'll do that, okay? Self-love. It matters to me, right? We went to a business empowerment meeting on Tuesday night, the Fuller Dudley Foundation. And the speaker for the evening, he was a fairly young man, and he basically discussed his transition in so many words, his turning pro. And he mentioned it. Now, he said he started waking up at 4 in the morning. He said he listened to, like Eric Thomas, if y'all have ever seen E.T. on YouTube. If you haven't, when you're done looking at me and go look him up right now, he's got this bomb speech. It says, you owe you, right? You do. You owe you an explanation. You do. Okay? So, yeah, definitely check him out. But, yeah, so anyway, the speaker, he said, I started waking up at 4 a.m. I started getting ahead of my day. I started taking control of my time and my attention and my efforts. And so, I'm talking to my sister about waking up at 4 a.m. and she's like, yeah, I know I should, and I tried, but it's hard. It's hard because I naturally like to stay up at night, and I naturally like to sleep in the morning, and, it's not my normal thing. And I said, okay. Me? That would be for me all the more motivation to do that, to get up, because I would have the realization that, wow, where I am in life right now, I can't afford to do what feels natural to me. So therefore, I have to work to get to where I can afford to sleep in. I'm not there yet. If you ever follow like millionaires and read the books that they read, they talk about how you might have to spend the next 5, 10 years not living like your peers, right? Not doing what they do, not having the fun they have. You don't live like them now. And guess what? You won't live like them 10 years from now either. You know what I'm saying? It requires a little craziness. Like, you gotta be a little bit crazy about it. You know what I mean? How bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? Have you ever seen somebody who really wants a thing? I mean, look at kids. Gosh. Once a kid makes up its mind that that's what it wants, honey, it ain't worried about nothing else but getting it. I'm telling you. Watch kids. I love watching kids because they just have this pure intensity that they throw into every desire that they have. They just throw it in there, Kids don't have they don't have that awareness of the audience. They don't care. They might be aware, but it's definitely not as important as that thing that they want, So they don't care. they throw everything they have into getting what they want. And I guess my question to you this morning is, why aren't you throwing everything at it? I asked myself this. So I had to share it with y'all because I told you I owe you the epiphanies that I make along my journey. And this is one of them. You know, I'm asking myself that. Why aren't you throwing your all out of it, out to it, into it? Why aren't you giving it your all? Do you want it or not? And so I look at myself every day and I say that. I ask myself that. And I be like, shut up, I do want it, goodbye. And I'm going out there and I'm throwing, you know. And it feels good. It feels good. I've always been different. So that part doesn't bother me. So I'm just embracing that. People are going to look at me funny anyway, right? So they might as well look at me funny while they're watching me throwing my all into what it is that I want. So that's it. The D word, discipline. We're after productivity, not pleasures. We'll get them later. Turning pro. Check it out. Bill Duke told me. I'm telling you. Be a pro about it. Okay, have a great day. And a wonderful weekend. Snap. Happy weekend. Yes, June. Come through.